your friends about me.
What are you?
I'm Batman.
It's not college basketball. It's Clarence time! Let's get ready to rumble! Feel the fire, sense of the rare. It's nice and only know how to wear.
What is up, Friday Nighters? Welcome back to another episode of Just Another Friday Night. I am one of your two hosts, CM Chuck.
And I am CM Cal.
That's CM Cal, guys. In place for Double A tonight, Adamantium Adam, who could not be here with us tonight. And we might as well let you guys know ahead of time. Next Friday, we are taking the night off. So we will not have a show planned for you next week. A live show, at least. I'm still working on the idea of possibly having a pre-record show, possibly, or something else like that. But in the meantime, right now, like I said, even if we do something, it won't be a live show. I don't know if the Collecting Weekly guys are going to bring you guys a live show, but we'll figure it all out. So we appreciate you guys being here with us tonight. Toy Mafia in the house already says, yo, what is up, Toy Mafia? And KB is in the house. What is up, KB? We appreciate you being here, bud. Yeah, forgive us. We are not in the normal location. We're not in the normal pod lab. And of course, like I said, we got CM Cal here subbing in for Double A, Adamantium Adam. So CM Cal, how are you doing, bud? What's going on?
I'm doing good today. Nothing much, just average.
Yeah, I understand you started 7th grade now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the last time since we've seen you, you were in the 6th grade, but now you're in the 7th. How's that going so far?
Fine.
Okay, good. And what else? What else is new with you? Anything else new going on? Anything new that you collected or picked up?
Nothing, not much, just a couple of figs.
Okay. Anything that in particular that you want to talk about? Anything special that stood out?
No,
Okay.
nothing.
Okay.
Some casual pickups.
Good. Okay, well, we didn't really prepare any slides today or any news. Again, wasn't totally impromptu, but we weren't totally ready. So some good advice here from KB. Yeah, our show may be a little less rated R tonight with CM Cal in the room, but we always still we try to keep it interesting either way and enlightening. So yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, CM, what to you, has there been any news in pop culture that stuck out to you, whether it be video games or music, movies, TV, anything like that that's looking interesting to you?
Nothing that comes to mind really, but Power Rangers collabing with Fortnite.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, right? We did check that out. So the Power Rangers are in Fortnite now. The characters that yeah, KB, you make a good point. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, trust me, I won't say I fully vetted the show. I did see season 1 before CM Cal, and then he was kind of like, he'll always ask me like, do you feel like I can watch that? And I remember being a kid that grew up on like RoboCop, Rambo, the Terminator. So I was like, yeah, I think you're okay. I mean, we've also watched Invincible together. So, I guess it's like, I don't know, I'm not overly religious, but we tend to steer him more away from like the sexual stuff, you know what I mean? And we're like more lenient on the violence stuff and the blood, which is kind of like how I grew up again too, as a kid of the 80s, you know what I mean? Where, you're watching stuff again, like I said, well, just all those kind of classic 80 movies, the Schwarzenegger movies, the Stallone movies, the Die Hards, you know what I mean? It's like they really weren't heavy on the sexual stuff, but they were more heavy on the action, the violence, and the cursing, whatever. So I don't think he's gotten you're not too warped and twisted yet, right? That we know of. So yeah, no kidding. Well, I don't know. What do you say, Sim? Why don't we just pop right into the topic tonight then, right?
Yeah, there's nothing really to, say.
Yeah, I felt like haven't seen anything. I mean, like the big summer movies are over, right? Me and you got to see Superman together twice in theaters. We saw the Fantastic Four together. I guess the other big one that we didn't see that's missing, but I keep hearing good things and now is at home is Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World, right? And you barely watched the first one. What were your thoughts on that?
I liked it. It was cool.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And let me ask you this one. This is a kind of a question that we used to get asked in school all the time, which was like, how was your summer? Did you have a good summer?
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing bad about it. Just cool, smooth sailing.
Yeah, yeah. We went to the beach, right? Went to the
Oh yeah.
beach. And what else? I was gonna say, was there anything that particular that stood out? But you had a birthday during the
Mhm.
summer. You always
Mhm.
have a birthday every summer, so that's pretty cool. Our good friend Misty's in the house. Misty says, "Hi, what's up, Misty? We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for joining the show. I work with Misty. Actually, you had a chance to meet her. I don't know if you remember, but yeah. So glad that Misty's here joining us. KB then says we watched a lot worse when we were younger. He says the younger ones watch the same things without us knowing. He goes, so I get it. I was in middle school playing Grand Theft Auto. That's right. He goes, so he can handle it. Yeah, definitely for sure. Like I feel like I vet things to a certain degree. We've kind of talked about the boys, and I'm like, I don't think we're ready for that one. We won't do the boys just yet. But we talked about like Breaking Bad, and I'm like, that was on like FX or what was it, AMC? You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. I would let him watch. I'd let him watch The Walking Dead. I'm like, I watched all that already, and I was like, again, tame compared to what I watched growing up. So yeah, stuff like that. I think he's ready for. Does he have the attention for it? I don't know. You know what I mean? So we're trying to expand on that. You know what I mean? So when we were kids, we didn't have a quick 2-minute videos. It was like if you wanted to watch something, you had to sit there and suck up the whole thing. But yeah, okay. So let's talk a little bit about our background. With our topic tonight, guys. So again, this is going to be a spoiler episode. I don't have a banner for it. If you haven't seen this by now, it's been out for a little while. It's been over for a little while. So, we're talking Squid Game season 3. This is something that me and Double A wanted to cover. We talked about having you on when it finished, but we've had so much up and downs with the scheduling stuff, and then new things came out, and before you knew it, summer was here. We didn't get to Squid Game season 3, and I don't know that Double A loved it as much as maybe me and you did, but this was really fun because we I'd watched season 1 already, and we were kind of waiting for season 2. Then you said you wanted to watch it, so I was like, "Great!" So we did a rewatch. Well, for me, a rewatch. For you, a first watch. Before we get there, what were your thoughts on season 1? The story of the games, the story of Gi-Hun, player 456. You know what I mean? What were your initial thoughts on season 1?
I think season 1 was definitely my favorite. Seeing Gi-Hun more like happier. Season 2, he was definitely more
Yeah.
going nuts, kind of.
Yeah, yeah. Now, what did you think about Gi-Hun as kind of a dad? As he's also this kind of gambler. He lives with his mom. He's kind of like down on his luck, and he has this daughter, but he's not with the mom. She left. She took the daughter. She has a new, I guess, husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he gets to spend some time with her because it's her birthday. And what did you think about that?
I mean, I feel like he's not a great father.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he was there a little bit, and it was kind of cool seeing him like that. He was a father, but there's so little of that in the show.
Yeah, I know. And I think that first show, because you're kind of like, you don't know what this is, you don't know what the Squid Games are, and you're learning, you know what I mean? So like I think that will always make it more interesting. Misty says the first one was violent. Yeah, I agree. And I think, well, I want to ask you about that too, Sam. Like, do you think that the violence ramps up throughout the series, or do you think it kind of ramps down? Or do you feel like it's kind of like even amount of violence throughout?
It's like even.
Yeah.
Even what? No, because I feel like in season 2 there was a lot more death.
Yeah.
Than.
And two, it's like it's kind of like how you get attached to the characters, right? Like you find the characters, which ones you like latch onto, you feel more significantly towards, that you don't want to see them necessarily something bad happen to them, you can just click it off. Yeah, there you go. So it all depends on how you view it, but I do agree with Missy that it was violent. You know what I mean? Like it's not, and I think it's meant to be. I think that really the whole Squid Game show, season 1, 2, and 3, is kind of a commentary. It's kind of telling a story about, like there are people that have less. Yeah, they get into trouble, they gamble, they get medical bills, whatever the case. People are sick. You know what I mean? And it's like you get offered this choice, like like Sam Cal, like you're in a great situation, being 12 and you have a home, and you have your mom, and you have me, and your grandparents and your aunt, and like we all do our best to take care of you, right? But the people like Gi-Hun, I hated the part so much when like the mom is telling him like, hey, here's some money, like get her some chicken, you know what I mean, for like her birthday. Like that's all she wants is like some chicken with you. And what does he do? He goes to gamble it, right? And he loses most of it. He ends up just kind of getting her like that crummy hot dog, which like I that part broke my heart. Like I hated that part so much. And I was like, dude, like be better, So then he's in trouble too, right? He owes these mobsters money and they come to beat him up, you know what I mean, to get the money. And then he gets offered this choice, right? He meets the man in the suit. And guys, this show, again, if you don't know the Squid Games, it's Korean. So I don't want to butcher the names. Me and CM Cal, we're gonna probably call the players by their numbers. Obviously we know Gi-Hun, you know what I mean, but who is player, 456, but yeah, we're gonna try to call them by their numbers or by their designation if they're not, one of the players. Just because I don't want to like us absolutely butcher the names and get them wrong. I wouldn't want to do that because all their names are beautiful. And again, this show has amazing acting, like amazing acting. So kind of going back to real quick to season 1, like a recap, CM, you got Gi-Hun, he's in the what, like the subway, right? And he meets the man in the suit, you know what I mean? The guy that kind of finds the people to play the game. It's like, now what would you do in that situation? Would you take that offer, you know what I mean, to play this game to get slapped, you know what I mean? Like you're either gonna get slapped or you're gonna win money. You know what I mean? You don't get to slap him back. He's like, okay, if you win the game, the Doc Chi, right? Doc Chi, is that how we said? You get money, but if you don't, you know what I mean, I'm gonna slap you, you know what I mean? What do you think about that? What do you think about that game?
It was interesting. I feel like I'd do it, yeah.
Oh, really?
Money, yeah. Not getting slapped for
I would hope that you played Doc Chi before, right? You know what I mean? So, and again, of course, this game is like I said, we set in Korea. So many of the games are not games that we're familiar with. They're games that are played in Korea. You know what I mean? But these would be games that, like, I guess it'd be like kind of like, well, I don't know, what's a kid game that you can kind of think of, CM, that like maybe someone that you could just play like 1-on-1 real quick,
like here in the US.
Yeah.
I kind of think of like hopscotch or.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so imagine that, right? You're playing hopscotch with a guy like in the not necessarily a subway. We don't have subways here in San Antonio, but like in the back streets or whatever. You know what I mean? And like you fall out of the hopscotch. Well, then yes, he gets to slap you. You know what I mean? Like hopscotch can be hard. You know what I mean? Like, and again, too, the people in these games are adults mainly. You know what I mean? They're older, but basically the thing they have in common is that they're down on their luck, right? You know what I mean? Like they're hurting. I mean, I get it. Like, I get that you'll do extreme things. And I think that's kind of what the man in the suit is trying to find out, right? He's like, well, if you're willing to let me slap you, like, in the out in public for money, then maybe you're interested in something more, right? And that's how he figures out who will play.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that's kind of just our little bit recap of kind of season 1. Go ahead, Sia. KB says, I think it was interesting that in both seasons, the number 1 player was always someone that was involved in the staff. Yeah, definitely. And then you got to think about that, right? So let's kind of like fast forward just like a recap. And if you guys want to see our episode, Double A and I covered season 2 of Squid Games, which we watched together, right? You know what I mean? So, I remember you couldn't wait. Like after we saw season 1, you loved it and you were like, man, you couldn't wait, right, to see season 1. What were your thoughts? Let's real quick before we go to season 2. What were your thoughts on the ending of season 1? With Gi-Hun, player 456, winning, and what he decides to do, when he's about to get on the plane to go see his daughter. What did you think about that?
Dude, I mean, winning that amount of money in that country, that's insane. And then getting on a plane and then going back for more.
Yeah,
going on a plane to see your daughter and then going back for more.
Instead of going, right, he stays and he goes from well, we think he's going for more, right? But what he's thinking is like he wants to be like this justice, right? Like he wants to like stop the people that are doing the games, because I think he feels like, well, this is wrong to do this to humanity, right? Like this is wrong to do this to other people. But I think his focus was kind of wrong too. It's like, dude, you could have gone and seen your daughter, helped out her with money and stuff like that you had won, and then you could have come back and attempted to take on these game masters or whatever. But here's my thought that I had throughout this series, Sam, is that the people that have the power to build a place like that, providing all these suits, providing all this transportation, providing the guards, the guns, what I mean? Like those things are expensive. They had like nice guns or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like they're people that have that amount of money, pretty hard to stop without a lot of resources, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You would need Gi-Hun would need more than he won. And I think we looked it up what it transferred to, right? Which was like 32 million or something like that in the US, which is, a lot of money. So, I think he made the wrong choice not going to first take care of his daughter. So again, I'm kind of like, I have kind of this love-hate relationship with Gi-Hun where I'm like, I like him. Like, he's a good player. I was rooting for him, but I'm like, he just makes kind of dumb decisions. You know what I mean? So fast forward to season 2, Gi-Hun wants to get back into the games, right? And it's not necessarily to win more money. It's to stop the people that are there. He thinks he can use the money that he's won. And maybe I have the amount wrong and the millions. I could be wrong. If somebody knows, correct me. But he's like, well, I'm going to take them down from the inside. I'm going to get back involved in the games. I'm going to recruit this squad of people and all this stuff. But first he's got to find the guy, right? The man in the suit and all that. Obviously too, people with this kind of money, right, Tim, they know how to hide. They know how to not be found. They've been doing this for years. You know what I mean? And one of the things we learned about in season 1, right, was that there's these VIPs that watch the games, right? Probably even more rich, rich beyond, you know what I mean, than what we could ever possibly think of. And they kind of essentially pay to see these games, to see people do these acts of violence to each other, to kind of see the worst side of humanity, see people tear each other apart for money, which is horrible, so so we learned about the VIPs in season 1. Season 2, Gi-Hun's going to try to take them out. Now season 2 kind of ends, correct me if I'm wrong, Cal, but it ends where Gi-Hun has kind of planned this revolt, right? We're gonna get guns and rise up and take out the pink guards and get the game master and get the front man and all that. And I'm like, dude, you're out of your league. You know what I mean? They've thought of this. People have tried this. You know what I mean? And I think when I was reading research for this episode, CM Cal, this one that we're watching in season 2, which rolls into season 3, is the 37th games. So that means they've been doing this for 37 years. You know what I mean? So it's come on. You know what I mean? That's pretty wild. Real quick, some comments, CM Cal. You want to read this one?
Yeah. KB says, it made me mad that the Squid Game organizers found 456's tooth tracker, but didn't find the old lady's hidden knife that was in her hair. LOL.
Absolutely, KB. Absolutely. And it's funny, right? It makes me think maybe they did find it, but they let it slide. Because also, what about Thanos' pills? His cross with his pills? I'm like, come on, Thanos that could be used as a weapon too if you put that cross in between. You know what I mean? But I think there were little things. They didn't like that thing because it was a tracker, but little advantages that they saw that the players would maybe give themselves. They're like, again, the point is to tear each other apart, right? So it's they're like, you know what I mean? We'll let this little thing slide, a little knife, whatever. Heck, there's even the part where they give them the forks, right? And is that season 1? And they know they're seasons. Oh, this is a weapon. You know what I mean? That anything is an advantage in these games, right? CM Cal, he's never seen the Hunger Games, but the Hunger Games, that would be one that you would need to watch too, Pops, because that one is pretty wild too. It's a similar concept, and if you even go back to the old Stephen King book, The Running Man, which became a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they're actually remaking with the actor Glenn Powell, if you know Glenn Powell from Twisters, the sequel to Twister, and also from Top Gun Maverick. Great actor, extremely good looking. So people want him to be Batman. They want him to be a lot of superhero roles. So Glenn Powell is great. I think he'll be great in The Running Man. But definitely makes me want to sit and rewatch the original Arnold one, probably with this guy, so we could check it out. Go ahead, Sam, get to them comments.
Misty says, do you think that could happen in the U.S.?
That's a great question. I mean, and we kind of get some interesting insight to that at the end of season 3. But what do you think, Sam? Do you think something like that could happen here?
Really?
Yeah. Really? Seriously, yeah.
It's aren't there legal things going beyond purchasing an island?
Well, that's what I mean. Sim Cal, these mega rich people.
Yeah, they're insanely, incredibly rich.
Right. Look at your Elon Musks. Look at your Jeff Bezos. I mean, I think guys like this have resources to do all kinds of crazy things. So to answer Misty's question, I 100% do think something like this could happen in the U.S. And there's other movies that are like this. I think there's of course, we talked about the Hunger Games, we talked about the Running Man, but I think there's one called The Most Dangerous Game or Deadliest Game or just The Game with Michael Douglas. Those might all be movies with similar concepts where people want to hunt they want to hunt other people. Look at the movies Hostel, the Eli Roth movies. It's those are essentially about the ultra rich people kind of like wanting to like torture and hurt other people. It's like simply because they have the money to do so. So do I think something like this could happen? Yeah. And to go a step further, CM Cal, like to kind of tell you about a little bit about the Running Man and about the Hunger Games, the future gets kind of so bad, Mijo, that in those futures they televise these games. They televise this kind of thing. They get people to compete in these games, and it's like the most watched thing in the entire like world. Like everyone watches it because they want to see like essentially these people things. It's kind of like the old days of I know you haven't seen the movie Gladiator, which is another great one to watch, but like the Roman gladiators, they would do battle, and that was like people's entertainment back then. You know what I mean? They wanted to see them against tigers and against like 10 men against one because there was there's no TV, there's no radio, there's no nothing. That was entertainment. So in these movies I'm talking about, Running Man, Hunger Games, the concept has been around for a while of seeing, man fight man for sport, man fight man for money. You know what I mean? The ultimate prize being things like in the gladiator times, winning your freedom. In the Hunger Games, it was like, the people were hungry. You're winning, like you're not going to be poor anymore. You're going to have money. You're going to have a house. You're going to have wealth. You know what I mean? So there's many ways that I think that goes on. So yeah, I definitely think something like that could happen in the US. If the prize is big enough, there will be people that are always willing to risk it all to try it. Go ahead. Let's go.
Now, 14 Wellington says hiya.
What's up, 14? 14 joins us from Canada. We appreciate you being here, 14. And KB says,
KB says, good point to the whole finding the weapons.
Yeah. And Misty says there. Get Misty's last comment.
When we were listing the movies, I think she's saying like
Blink Twice.
A similar movie.
Yeah, I saw that one. That's not one I don't think I would let you watch, but the Channing Tatum movie, yeah, which definitely is super scary. You know what I mean? Super scary. So all great comments, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with us here as we're talking Squid Game. So let's talk, what happens at the end of season 2, CM, so that we can get into season 3. But what do you remember how it ends, right? Pretty much with the revolt, right? And it starts to go bad. There's what we meet is the one player, and again, you got to forgive me, guys, I can't remember all the numbers, and CM, I don't know if we want to pull it up or not, but the young guy who says he was in the Marines, and he's like, yeah, like I'll work with you, you know what I mean? I'll work with Gi-Hun and his little crew, you know what I mean? He kind of always gets the crew of people that are not. They're kind of like what other people might view as the weak people, right? He gets the guy who it's the son and mother, right? You know what I mean? Like that was like, oof, you know what I mean? Them. There's obviously the young girl that's player 222 that she's pregnant. Do we know that she's pregnant at that time? I don't think we know that she's pregnant, but okay, we do.
At what time?
When he's doing the revolt and all that, yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah.
They know. Okay.
Early in season 2.
Okay, and then like probably my favorite player in all this season 2 and 3 games, but it's 120, right? Player 120. The trans woman, right? And then she is just incredible, right? So what basically happens at the end of season 2, and correct me again, CM Cal, if I'm wrong, I'm remembering it incorrectly, but they try this revolt, it doesn't go well. This whole time, player 1, who is the front man, has been working with them, but he pretty much helps to squash the revolt from the inside. And Gi-Hun still doesn't know that it's him, right? He doesn't know that player 1 is also the front man. So it just goes bad. A lot of his players get killed, and then he finds out again too that the young guy that was supposed to be this Marine
wasn't actually a
Marine. He choked up. He didn't get the ammo that they needed, and the whole thing just went south. Now, mind you, I hated this. Cal, I hated this idea because I was like, Gi-Hun, are you serious, dude? Like you're basically sending people to their deaths. You know what I mean? And what does that do? What do they do every time something goes wrong in this game? They bring out the big piggy bank, and they just drop that money in, and it just makes everyone more greedy, right? Makes them more like they more want, to get that, you just made the prize bigger. You know what I mean? Now, a new concept they kind of showed in I don't know, did it start in season 2 or maybe in season 3? But the voting, right? See how they could vote. Like after every game, do you want to leave? Do you want to stop? And you see how people vote. Like many times they're like they could have had the chance to leave, but they just didn't take that opportunity because they wanted the chance at the money. You know what I mean? So, Octopus Game is in the house. Is that a different game type of Squid Game? Instead of Squid Game, you get Octopus Game, and they put the letter A there, so we appreciate that Octopus Game, you joining us. KB says the trans one had what it takes to win it all. Absolutely, she did. He says I even think she could have beaten 456. Absolutely, I think she could have too. But but he had the strength of plot armor at least till the finale. Yes, absolutely. So that game of what game are they essentially playing? CM Cal, it's hide and seek, right? When they got the knives and the three keys and all that, and so it's like, man, that is just wild. But yeah, so the revolt gets squashed at the end of season 3. The games are going to begin again. We end at season 2, kind of seeing them getting ready to walk into the next game where we see the boy, right? We've seen the female doll, from Red Light, Green Light, which everyone loved, and now we see there's like a boy version, and you're like, okay. And from what I learned, Sam Cal, is that these are old characters from like an old Korean cartoon.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I think I saw some like old pictures of like the older animation.
That's pretty cool, right?
Well, not animation, but like I think I know what you're talking about.
So, of course, waiting for season 3, we're all excited. Like, oh man, we're gonna see the boy. What game is it going to be? What games are left to play? So, yeah. So let's talk about season 3. We couldn't wait to watch it together. We waited like 1 or 2 days, right? And then we like just kind of binged it, right? As much as we could, but we didn't know that it was broken into 2 parts. Or did you know that it was going to be broken into 2 parts?
It was not broken into 2 parts. Season 2 was broken into 2 parts. Season 3 came out
all together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe it felt like that to me. I'm gonna look real quick and just see how many episodes and all that we had there for Squid Game season 3. But while I'm doing that, Sam Cal, tell me your thoughts about the start of this season 3, what you were looking for, what you were expecting.
I was kind of looking forward to see 456 kind of find out that the frontman was player 1. And
yeah, I totally agree with you there.
I want to see a little bit what happened after Gi-Hun's friend died at the end of season 2, right after the revolt.
Yeah, that's right. And, that was his close buddy from season 1, right?
Yeah, even like, remember they came out, they had like all the humans dangling. He was there.
Yes, yeah, they kind of showed you, which in one of the recaps that we watched, you and I, they made reference that this is kind of something that's been done since like old times. Like you hang up the victims to show people like we're not messing around. You know what I mean? Go ahead. I get that comment from KB.
KB says, I thought that Thanos' character was really cool and entertaining. I thought he died sooner than he should have.
Yeah, he was definitely, KB, one of those characters that like you love to hate, right? Because like we initially hated Thanos, right? Like we were so annoyed by him, and then it turns out that his friend was like even more annoying. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, oh man, I could not stand this guy. And if Double A was here right now, my normal podcast partner, he would be saying, oh man, come on, Thanos was funny or whatever, And we always have this kind of conversation on our show about like, you're only as good as the villain is, right? Like you need a good villain, you need someone to hate, you need someone to root against. And Thanos was definitely that guy. You know what I mean? So he was no Avengers level Thanos, but he was a real.
We went from not liking him to liking him, but like. Yeah. From the start, who we didn't like? Player 100.
Oh man, Player 100. This old man that has the most debt. He's just trying to rally people around him to get them to be on his side. It just was the absolute worst. Or how about
like every game I was hoping, please let this man die. Please let this man die. And remember Player 101 from season 1?
Yes, excuse me.
Dude, he was like the equivalent of annoying.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. And what about the witch lady in this one? I thought she was like a psychic or whatever.
Her too. I'm glad she died. Who killed her again? It was it was Minu. What's his name?
Minsu, which was what was he?
He was like one of the last 5. He was the one that had Thanos's cross.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, him. Yeah, when he started getting on the drugs, he was kind of going crazy too. And he was like a gentle spirit, but he never let go of the fact that he didn't help his friend, that girl. You know what I mean? And like that just ate away at him.
And he was on the geek bar once he had those.
Oh yeah, he definitely was on the geek bar, no doubt, man. Thanos had some crazy stuff in his little cross, huh? So CM Cal makes a good point. Like there's a lot of things that we wanted to see what were going to happen. I was very interested in like the detective story as well. The detective whose brother was the front man. We find out at the end of season 1, he's been looking for the island, right? Then we find out that the boat captain that's been helping him is working for the people at the Squid Game. You know what I mean? Like it's like, what? Like this guy's a traitor, Then we find out what else? CM Cal, that the freaking VIPs got involved in the games. Like they went to kind of be part of the cleanup.
Oh yeah, dude, those people suck.
Oh yeah,
the VIPs. I preferred the ones that.
I mean, all the VIPs I think are horrible people. Oh, yeah. so yeah, but they actually went in there like they weren't part of the game, but like when the revolt got squashed, they kind of went in there just like put down the people that were like left, which was like, wow, y'all just like. So you kind of got to see like too, the front man is like, oh, like he's giving them more bang for their buck. Like, oh, you want to like get up close and personal, you know what I mean, and do some kills. And then at the same time too, we've got not player, but guard 11, pink guard 11. She's got her own thing going on. She's this person from North Korea that got went to South Korea. Then she was working at the park. Remember, she was
with
one of
the sick girl, and remember her father.
Yeah, the art. He was kind of doing the caricatures. He was doing the art.
Even the father, that had like a whole entire story a little bit too.
Yeah, well, he got involved in the games because he needed the money for his sick daughter. So there's a guy that's not a bad person. He just didn't have the money for it. And I think we can all relate to that. I mean, if anybody was going to like lose their house or their kids or whatever, you'd probably go to some extreme measures to protect those things.
Real quick, we got KB again in the chat.
Yeah,
he says, KB says, all the VIPs are American. Go figure.
Go figure. Yeah, no doubt, KB. I do think there was one gal that did look Asian, I think, if I remember correctly. And then some of them sound like they had like accents, like from like other like European countries. But yeah, for the most part, I definitely get what you're saying, and you're just like, wow, it just makes sense. And I'm sure that maybe in South Korea, where the show was made, that maybe Americans are viewed as the bad guys, So it's hey, I mean, United States shows and movies have used foreigners as bad guys for forever, so can't take offense to it, you know what I mean? And hey, I mean, if there was anyone weird enough and sick enough to pay for that stuff with the type of money, it might be Americans. What's the next comment there, Sam?
Also KB says again, except one, I think, but 99% of them spoke English, so I can only assume.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. Yeah, you're probably totally right. And I have no doubt that there will be some type of story of the VIPs coming up, you know what I mean? But I mean, again, if they never showed their story, I mean, it's like you could easily make it up in your head who they are, right? The wealthy 1%.
What if, because the VIPs are so incredibly rich, what if if they do make that US spinoff, what if one of them's like the Frontman?
That could be true too, right?
What if we had a female Frontman?
That would be interesting as well. Yeah. We saw the woman in the alley was a woman, right? The recruiter, kind of the business woman. The blonde lady. Yeah, who is a very famous actress. Why does her name escape me right now? But anyway, someone will say it in the comments. But yeah, she's Hela in the Thor movies, Cate Blanchett, and she's also in the Lord of the Rings movies. So very, very famous actress. CM Cal, if you'll see her in lots of things, I'm sure, as we continue to watch movies. What were some other key things for you? Well, let me ask you first, CM Cal, what did you think about the detective story and his hunt for the island, his hunt to find his brother, and of course the boat captain that was a traitor?
It's like it is a huge part of the story, but is it really? No, I feel like it's not. The whole show, you want to see the games, you want to see Gi-Hun, you want to see the Frontman, you want to see the games. It's kind of a boring subplot compared to the father, or the father of the sick daughter, or the mother and son, or a lot of other tie-ins. It was kind of boring, but I did like the brother, and I like the detective. I liked him, but it's kind of a boring side plot that's going along. Every time I see it, I'm kind of just like, man, I just want to go back to I want to see the good stuff. And
yeah, I get you. Interesting. I didn't know that you felt that way too. I thought you were kind of interested in the front man's brother and him finding him. So, okay, let's talk about the other subplot we mentioned, the pink guard 11, her plot. You know what I mean? This being this. What would you? To me, really, her whole goal throughout this season was to help the guy with the sick daughter, because she knew. So, how did you feel about? And we find out, that she had lost her daughter. So, of course, she's going to help this guy with his daughter. She knows him from the park, from working in the theme park and all that. What did you feel about that story? Did you feel the same way?
Feel the same way as in how?
That you felt like, well, you didn't want to see those parts. You could have been done without it, or you enjoyed that story more.
I mean, I thought it was cool. And KB says, looks like it goes behind you guys.
Oh yeah. No, that's just the sleeping missus. So yeah. Yeah, but I'm definitely distracting, KB. Trust me. Yeah, trying to. We're working with what we got right now.
But yeah, that side plot, it wasn't boring, but because it was taking place in the islands, it was a little bit more interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
too, I like that. Like, she kind of had this thing where she didn't want, right? Wasn't it seemed that she didn't want the guys that were like harvesting the body parts to keep doing that? So she was like killing them, and they were telling her like, "Hey, like leave them kind of alive so we can like take the body parts." She wasn't playing. She wasn't playing ball with those guys. You know what I mean? Like being a part of the thing, and they were like, "Hey, like get on board, or like we're gonna mess you up." So when she kind of starts playing along, but she's using everything to her own like. She's trying to get her own goal, which is to help the artist from the park, because she knows he has a sick daughter. So she's willing to work with these guys for the time being. But then she just that one part blows them all away, right? She kills all those guys.
Yeah.
You know?
Also, she also blew away that the black guard with the pink zipper.
Yes, yeah.
We thought, I think me and you both thought it was really cool.
The
Like
game master.
looking, yeah.
Yeah, cool looking. Yeah, the game master. Is that they call him right? No,
The game manager.
the game manager. That's right. Yeah.
No,
Oh,
no, it's not called him. I don't know what they call him, but like all of the square ones are the managers.
uh-huh.
I'm not sure.
I know he had a name because that's what they call him in the Fortnite. When he came out in Fortnite, they gave him that. Yeah, that was a cool, interesting new look, right? The one that had all black but with the pink zippers, and even his bootlaces were pink. So, the characters just look very neat, right? Because I've been, I think up until us kind of seeing Guard 11, we didn't know that some were women. So, I mean, it just goes to show you. And she was like an awesome sniper, remember? Because she was like kind of like taking the people out from. But I think she's just killing them because they're supposed to be killed or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, but there's this other kind of group that's like, hey, we're harvesting these parts from the ones that are still good to like make extra money. Kind of again, the greed is like out of line. You know what I mean? But you said you were more okay with that plot because it took place on the island, and I also felt too like her trying to help this. She was affecting the outcomes of things. She was trying to help him along. You know what I mean? So I think she was kind of like, it was definitely making a part. What else, CM? What about the games themselves? What are some of the games that we saw that you thought that were interesting, neat, new, different? I mean, obviously we mentioned we saw hide and seek already, but like with a twist, you have this key that opens the doors. If you're one of the hiders, if you're one of the seekers, you have a knife. You know what I mean? So it's like here they've given you a weapon, right? So it's like great. And I think that they even make, they always make these rules, right? It's like there's one rule like you must kill one person, right? So you end up having the mom, the duo that we've been seeing throughout the series, season 2, season 3, is there's a mom and a son there, which is a horrible dynamic. You know what I mean? Because it's like, man, obviously he wants to protect his mom, obviously she wants to protect her son. She's older, he's younger, he was in all this debt, so he got into the games. She wanted to help him, so she got into the games. Like, can you imagine this poor older woman getting in the games? That's like, like your grandma's age, you know what I mean? Like, that's so awful, you know what I mean? So again, everyone kind of has their own reasoning to do it, you know what I mean? But that there you have it, you know what I mean?
Also, I didn't like.
Go ahead, tell me.
It's like in season 1, they're all saying like after the first game, everybody was complaining about dying, but the guards were like, "You guys all came in on your own terms," but they didn't know that it was like they were gonna die.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
Yeah.
they knew it was for money. They knew it was a game. They didn't know they were gonna get shot.
Yeah, they didn't explain that part, right? You know what I mean? But again, I think that I look what Breakdown Sports here says. Season 3 equals depression. Yeah, and way to go with the Georgia Bulldogs logo there, Breakdown Sports. Then
KB says neither the mom or the son, neither both of them joined the game.
No, they
correct?
didn't. No, they didn't. I think it was like he was like, "What are you doing here?" Whatever, and she's like, "I came to help you out because I knew you were like in so much debt." Like, which is kind of what any like parent might do. They might be like, "Man, my kid's in all this debt." Maybe you're involved with like mobsters or whatever. Like, they're gonna come for you, so they're gonna come and like try to help you. I mean, I get that, you know what I mean? But of course, the kid just thought, hey, I'm getting in this so I can get myself out of debt. Didn't know his freaking mom was going to be there, which completely changes that dynamic for him because it's like, well, great. Not only do I want to like, keep myself safe and win, but I got to keep my mom safe. But what if it would have came down to him and the mom? Well, what do you think? They were the last two. I mean, it's too crazy.
I mean, I feel like last two. Oh, well, last two they could just call a vote and
that's a good
and
idea.
split the
Yeah,
money.
you're right.
It'd be like half and half.
That's true. That's actually great. Yeah, forget about that. You can vote after every game, and if it ended up being them, they could just vote to quit. So,
well, also, isn't it like not every game, but it's like literally whenever they want?
no, I thought it was every game that they had to do. They couldn't vote, or because wouldn't it be like the next morning after again, they'd be like, now it's time to vote. And they would bring out the stuff to vote or whatever, and the patches and all that.
Yeah.
And then too, like, you have that layer in this season also, right? Where like not only, you're kind of wearing the patch, like, so it's like, oh man, you're an O and you're an X. Like it's creating more divisiveness. And these people are already obviously like there's an aspect of greed and there's an aspect of those things, but there's also just like an aspect of need. You know what I mean? Like, well, remember the part CM Cal, like where the recruiter, that's in this season, is it season 3 I think, or is it season 2 when he dies, the guy that the season 2, right? But just that one scene that we saw where he goes to the park and like is like offering the freaking people
I love that
food scene. And he's like, yeah, he tears it up in front of them when they don't take it or whatever, and they choose like it's either what food or what is it, lotto tickets, yeah. And so again too, it's just another commentary on like kind of like how money is the root of all evil and like greed prevails, and it's like that's awful.
I was thinking about like Rano when I said they could just forfeit the match, but I also thought like you said earlier that you were wondering, did they introduce the voting in season 2 or 1? They introduced it in season 1, but I think they lined up and said there was no patches. They just said like because remember they did leave, but then some came back.
Yeah, exactly. Some came back.
Yeah, so they did vote.
No doubt.
So voting wasn't the
so you're on camera, hun, just so you know. But yeah, so yeah, you definitely do have that aspect in season 1 as well, but it was just the one time they got the vote. So then they incorporated like almost kind of making them seem like, oh, okay, we're giving you more chances to get out of this if you want to, you know what I mean? When in actuality they're so confident in the greed of the people that they know that they're going to continue to play. Okay, we recently during the summer we got to watch finally The Dark Knight, right? With Heath Ledger, Joker, Christian Bale, Batman. Now, what did you think, CM, when the Joker kind of gives that choice on the boat, right? He's like, like you blow up the other boat, you know what I mean? Like he too is counting on it, right? And he's telling Batman, he's like, you're gonna see like the worst of humanity, you're gonna see their decision. And Batman's like, no, he has faith in them, right? Like he has faith that they'll do the right thing. And then you have that big prison guy, right? You know what I mean? And he's like, give it to me. Like you're too scared to do it. Like I'll do it or whatever. And he throws the thing, remember? And then he's like, now no one's going to decide, like either we're going to die or we're not. And then no one blows each other up. You know what I mean? So it's interesting, right? Those concepts, you know what I mean? Those type of things, like how are people going to react? What choices are they going to make? And that's kind of what all this is about. And you're hoping that the best part of humanity will come out, but that's not always the case. And probably the majority of the time, that's not the case, So what else do we get, CM Cal, that's kind of like extra crazy over the top in this season? I know what I'm thinking of.
What are you thinking of? Because no.
Go ahead.
Definitely like just say what you were thinking.
Player 222 and player 333.
The
mother
stupid CGI
and the father. Yeah, or as we called him, CGIB. We also called him player 457.
And the CGI dog.
Yeah. But yeah,
it's like such a money making show. This CGI isn't
on those two things they were. It's not that.
I don't complain about CGI a lot, like VFX, but that was horrible.
Yeah, I agree. I was like, why did they not get a real baby just for like a couple of scenes? The baby doesn't come out a lot, but for the first time ever, guys, a player. Well, I think it's the first time ever. I don't know if they've ever saw that in their 37 games, but a player has a baby during the thing. Player 222 was pregnant. The father was 333. He kept trying to help her. He kept trying to do the right thing or whatever, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, it was just getting more out of hand. And it was like, I mean, I think they knew that she was pregnant. Even the old woman, the mom and son, she gives up some of her food to her. She's like, you need to eat, like you need to be healthy, like for the baby, like she cared. That mom, she really cared, the older woman.
Yeah, and I was kind of thinking about the baby too. Like, I've been thinking about Superman and like this baby. Like, aren't there medical records that need to be there
on the island?
No, like in general, like no one knows where that baby came from. Like if that baby ever goes to the doctor, like for a checkup, or
right, yes, yeah, you're right. Like in America, you would get like a social security number, all those things. Yeah, no, you're right. Seeing how that baby has none of that. So that's going to be the responsibility of what we see at the end. Again, spoilers, guys. The detective ends up with the baby. He's going to have to go and be like, hey, mean, he'll have to make up a story because no one's going to believe him about the freaking games. But in the old days, they would just take a baby, like a person that didn't want a baby, they could go leave their baby at the fire station and like in a basket, and then you'd have to like, okay, well now we've got to like get this baby records and get this baby shots and all those things. The same way that people abandon animals, and I hate to compare it to that, but it does happen, and it's awful, you know what I mean? But yeah, basically, the detective is left with this responsibility at the end to raise 222's baby and give it a name and give it an identity, because it didn't have that. It was freaking born in this island that is like, pretty much for murder.
Yeah, okay, all right. KB says, what was more sad to you, the Indian gentleman dying season 1 or the mom killing the son?
Man, both of those are heavy, KB.
I love the mom. I did like the son, but I didn't love the son. I loved the Indian man. For me, he was the Indian guy. He was an awesome character in himself.
Yeah, he was so sweet and good-hearted, and it was like neat that he was strong and like he just like seemed genuine. So that hurt too, maybe because it was season 1 also, and like we were like getting to see how this is going. So that was like the big kind of first tragedy you get. I didn't expect the twist we got with the mom and the son. And I know me and you talked about it the other day. We were just talking about that, right? And you were like, would you have done it? Would you have killed your own son for like someone that you just met? You said that to me, right? I mean, like, but I think that the mom, I think that she couldn't see past that this baby was a newborn and completely innocent. And like, that's the only time kind of in your life you really have like complete true innocence, you know what I mean? And she wasn't gonna let it was wrong. She knows that it would have been wrong for him to let her to let the son kill the mom. That would have been wrong, you know what I mean? And or the baby. So she was like, I can't let you do this incredibly wrong thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, Pops. It's a crazy choice. It's crazy awful. You know what I mean? Like all those things. I mean, like, let's talk about that a little bit, right? So this is when they're in the hide and seek game. They've made some trades. I think the mom initially gets the knife, right? And she says, let's trade. She tells the son, like, we'll trade. She's like, you take the knife. And because he says to her, he's like, can you really kill someone or whatever? And she's like, I'll have to. And if I do, I have my little, like, her hair knives or whatever. She's like, so, like, I have a knife, you have a knife. Like, like, go protect yourself. Like, do what you have to do, whatever, right? So they switch roles, you know what I mean? And I think also, too, don't 222 and 333, don't they switch also? They switch their jackets. One becomes the other one.
Wait.
I think I could be wrong.
I don't know.
Something like that happens. Something like that happens. But basically, at this point, like Gi-Hun is like going nuts. Whatever. He just wants to kill the young guy that said he was a Marine but wasn't a Marine.
Do you think would you have like that? Like, I want to kill this guy in your head?
No.
If you were Gi-Hun with your history, with your history, just like going through season 1, going through season 2.
I mean, maybe it's hard for me to think how I would have thought in that situation. I probably would have wanted some type of revenge, but at the same time too, it's like, man, you have all this other stuff going on. It's like I'm trying to be focused on like what my goal was with here in the game. Yeah. Like to be honest, Sam Cal, like even if that guy would have been brave and got the ammo and got back with it, that wasn't going to be the turning point for them. Like they already thought so much ahead. Like we said, at one point, Gi-Hun hides a tracker in his tooth. They get that. Like they're on top of the things. It's like he was dumb to think he could go against that. You know, that'd be like if I said like, oh, I want to play like the best players in the NBA, like in basketball, like just me by myself against like 5 or 6 of them. Like I'm gonna get squashed. Like it's like Gi-Hun was crazy, and that'd be even if I said like he had advantages, right? He had money or whatever. That'd be like if I said, oh, they're gonna give me like they're gonna give me 50 points ahead of them, and they're gonna start with 0. It's like they're still gonna beat me. It's the what is it? 100 gorillas versus 100 men versus one gorilla. It's like, no, it's just not gonna work out in your favor.
KB says, I think she couldn't allow. You want to read it?
No, go ahead.
I think she couldn't allow herself to see her son as a baby killer, so she made that choice to kill him, and she obviously couldn't live with that fact that she killed her own baby son.
Yeah, no, and that part was incredibly sad too, right? I mean, obviously we're talking about after she kills her own son, she later, after they get out of the game, she survives that horrible game.
I mean, was that like a sad moment for you, like when the son died? or were you just like,
Well,
wow?
I think what I was like, wow, but I think I felt for her. I felt for her, like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
yeah.
this poor lady. Now, when she hung herself, then I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
like
like
I was like,
KB says that's why she committed
yeah,
suicide.
yeah, exactly, and that is so that was so awful,
Yeah,
for me.
I was sad for that part. I didn't want her to die ever in the
Yeah.
show. I loved her so much.
Yeah, she was very cool. For me, my biggest loss, and you know this because I think I out loud was like, no, like was player 120. I mean,
Yeah.
again, the trans woman who was a freaking icon in season 2. She was amazing with guns. It turns out when she was living as a man still, she was in the their army or their
Oh
marines or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
So she
Yeah.
was a trained soldier. So
Yeah.
this chick is out there like boom, 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 boom,
Yeah,
boom.
dude,
Like,
I loved her in the season, man.
dude,
She
she
was so
like
awesome.
without her, Gi-Hun does not get as far as he got. Like she was incredible. She was smart. She was capable. She finds the exit in hide and seek first. She finds the exit. She has the 3 keys, right? Because
Oh yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
other players and she could have walked out. She could have walked out and won, but what does she do? She's such a good person. She has such a good heart. And I'm saying her because I want, obviously she wanted to identify as a woman, and it's like, but she goes back for those that she cared about to help them. She knew that 222 was pregnant. Was she hurt at that point? Was her ankle hurt already at that
Oh
point?
yeah, she got hurt like
Yeah, the
like
game
probably halfway.
before, right? Yeah.
No, 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 no,
Oh,
no.
in the
It was in the maze.
in the maze, yeah.
In the hide and seek.
But she's like, man, there's this pregnant girl who's hurt. There's this old woman. You know what I mean? Let me go get them. They gave me their keys. They trusted me. They treated her like a protector. And dude, she goes back, right? CM Cal. And even I was like, at the beginning of my mind, I was like, there's no one that's going to get hurt, even though I knew that I was like, it might come down to like Gi-Hun. I thought she was making it to the end. But what happens? She's in the doorway waiting to help people. There's confusion. People don't know what's going on inside the room, that the baby was just born, all that, right? And who of all people stabs her in the back? 333.
Yeah.
And I think you really heard me out loud. I was like, no, like I was like, no, like I was like, not her. Like I was like, man, that to me was the biggest, like I was like, oh, I kind of don't want to watch it anymore.
Oh man, you know what?
Like,
you know what I did like though?
Mm.
So when 222 was in labor
Mhm.
and the mom was like helping her,
Yeah.
like 120 was at the door like covered in blood, remember?
Yes.
And that guy just came in and like he saw her, he didn't like do anything, he just left.
Oh yeah, he knew. He was like, I don't want these. I don't want the smoke. Right? He didn't want the smoke at all. He was like, I'm out of here. But man, 120, man, R.I.P. She was freaking great. Like awesome character. I'll cheers to her. But yeah,
Do you feel like the camera's kind of blurred?
as we move in and out and we keep rocking, it's gonna do that because it's trying to focus on us. So it's best if we sit still. Yeah. So yeah, a lot happens in the hide and seek game. We also saw the jump rope game. That game was insane,
Yeah,
right?
well, before the season came out, what did you like have any theories about? I saw a lot of theories saying that it was this game where like people, okay, so like there's these two, it's like the boy and the girl, and these people are going through a bridge, and when remember there was like a light, like green light, red light.
Yes.
That meant like stop and go.
Stop and go. Yeah.
Right, there was. For the jump rope.
Before the jump rope?
I don't know.
No, there was a timer. There was a timer. They had to go like in so much time, like to cross.
Yeah, I think it was a time to cross, and they have to go through their arms, and when their arms go down, it's like a they get chopped. And if you're stuck in the middle,
that would have been more scary. I think.
In the middle, yeah.
Yeah, but this one is more like a big, like it's kind of like a big metal jump rope that comes around and it'll sweep you off this narrow bridge you're on.
You know, it'd be like a good game for like the USA Squid Games.
Which one?
Like hot potato.
Oh yeah, hot potato would be cool. Can you imagine? It'd be like a grenade or something, right?
I mean, it'd kill the people around them too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I can't imagine
like football with a grenade.
Oh man, that they're gonna come up with something crazy. I think for the Americans.
I don't know. Like I saw a lot of things that saying that, like they kind of just like did it to do it, and they're not gonna actually make it.
Well.
But I don't know. There was like this one photo that got leaked a while ago that had like a bunch of Squid Game projects.
I mean, I don't know. I think that it's become one of those franchises, CM Cal, that like you can't let it go away. Like I mean, just like The Walking Dead thought it was gonna be like maybe like a couple seasons, but then you've got Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, like. There's money to be made, right? So you're gonna keep making it. Look at it. You got the Funko Pops. You got the SHF figures. It's like that's just the start. You know what I mean? Like you make cool American characters, you tell, or whatever. You could put it in England. You could have it showing you Squid Game like international. It could be like maybe they take the people around the world and perform in games different places. You know what I mean? Like it could be people from all kinds of countries.
Yeah.
I think that there could be, lots of things. I think what's going to keep it interesting is like how they change the games and what the character stories are that are interesting. I mean, look at what we had here: a mother son, a couple that split up, the girl was pregnant. I mean, obviously Gi-Hun trying to stop it. You know what I mean? The detective story. Guard 11, her story. So I think if the stories are interesting and are there, then and there's money to be made, then they're gonna make it. I mean, Squid Game was like this thing that came out of nowhere and everyone loved it. I didn't think I'd ever be sitting like, really enjoying this Korean show and just that like the acting was so incredible. And not to say that, but it's just I just don't watch a lot of foreign stuff. So I mean, like if I did, I'm sure I would love it all. But they dubbed it, so which was good for me because I don't like to really read subtitles unless I really have to. So because we could have watched it in the original if we wanted, but we watched it dubbed just because it's easier to enjoy.
KB says, what was your guys' favorite game in season 2 or 3? So like, yeah, because they were connected.
The merry-go-round was fun. I thought that
merry-go-round.
Was it the merry-go-round when they're having to run to the
Oh
rooms?
yeah, no, it's called Mingle.
Mingle, yeah. What do we have? What do we have right here? The 1-2 that they did on the on the little. I thought I had it right there,
the six-legged pendulum.
Which one was that?
Remember the rainbows?
Yeah, the rainbows. That one was wild because you had to play the
bunch of games.
The bunch of games. Like I was like, man, that's when I saw them playing that, I was like, I'd be so dead. Like I would just be dead. But obviously too, like the end, the season, the final episode, the kind of the classic Squid Game, but in the air. That was like, different on these high, the square, the triangle, and the circle, like but high up in the air. I was like, oh man, that's like really cool, So
yeah.
Did you have a favorite though? Like what was your favorite?
What was the first one before the rainbow?
Oh, they played Red Light Green Light again. Remember that was like
that was a classic. That was classic. But I do like the I really like hide and seek. But what's the one like? What was your favorite game in the where they have like the rainbows? Because they have like the I feel like okay, the easiest one. What do you think is the easiest one in those? Because remember they have like one where all you have to do is throw a rock and hit the other rock.
Yeah, I remember thinking I might be able to do that one, but I don't know. It's hard. Yeah, that's where the Frontman freaking throws it backwards. I was like, dude, are you serious? Like, come on, man.
I don't think I don't think anyone in this house could do the one where like you juggle with a thing with your feet.
Oh no, that's so super hard. Or even the one with the we have the little pieces,
the gongi,
the gongi, yeah, with the dice, where you have to catch it on the back of your hand. I was like, that I would just be dead. I'd be like, just forget it. So it's hard for me to think about. It's a great question, KB. KB, tell us what your favorite game is, and what makes it your favorite. Like, is it your favorite because it's so hard, difficult, or because you think you could do it? I mean, or is it you think like because it's like the deadliest game? I mean, like, because man, that jump rope. CM, like I was like, that is so crazy. Number one, you're on this narrow bridge, you're up high, like there's so many factors, like your fear level is just like insane. It's like how can you like the jump rope itself look hard enough? Can you imagine? Let's just say that it was on flat ground, right? So like, and the bar still came and like whacked you, like it would probably freaking throw you against the wall. It'd be hitting you so hard. Well, the jump rope part.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the
because it wasn't rope; it was like metal or something, right?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I thought you were talking about the final game where like they're up high.
Oh no! Again, anytime they put you up high, it's like that's another level of danger. Like there's no thing to protect you from the edge. So once you're on the edge, like you're
also I saw someone say, and they made a good point. Like they're all based off of childhood games, but like Korean games, but like they said, like what is the glass bridge supposed to be? But that was season 1. But still, someone said it was like glass stepping stones, or no, it was like something stones, like stepping stones.
Maybe, but it reminded me of there used to be these levels like on Mario Brothers, and when you'd be walking on the bridge, like if you stayed on there too long, the piece will fall off.
Yeah.
So you had to like learn to run quickly across the bridge.
Yeah.
But it also reminded me. Do you remember when we would play that game, Don't Break the Ice?
Oh.
And it had the little man in the middle, and you're trying to like tap the little blocks out, and you're like, oh, like you would get nervous when it was just like 2 blocks holding the man, and you knew one of us was gonna go down. Ooh, that'd be a good one for the American version. Or even like, what about some kind of like crazy Jenga? Because dude, we know when we play Jenga, when it gets so high, we're like, oh man, like.
Oh, so I got to show you that video. I have a video. It's crazy.
Okay, yeah, it's hard to choose, KB, because I got to think about like what like did I like because it was deadly? Did I like because it was maybe I could have done it? You know what I mean? I mean, some of these games they're just like too intense, and it's I don't know. I will say that the jump rope one it did it, but I think CM Cal's right. I really like the hide and seek because it's like that's something that I definitely played as a kid, and obviously with stakes that are so freaking much higher. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do? We're already at an hour, CM Cal. Why don't we fast forward to kind of like what we thought about the end, like our final thoughts? You know what I mean? Like, because let's talk about how these games end. We've already talked about it. I mean, like 222. This is where she dies at jump rope, right? The baby's already born. It's like
Gi-Hun kind of finally takes the baby.
Yeah, because
guard 11 kills the game guard.
Yeah, and they're both from North Korea, so they both kind of have that history. They talk about that, and she's kind of like I'm gonna burn it down too. Like she kind of has a similar Gi-Hun type attitude.
And she
like,
does do that to the record room.
Yeah. So she gets rid. And what do we find out in that record room, right? So we find out some other things that are interesting, right? Like, don't we find out that also too? We kind of glazed over it, but the frontman having that one-on-one conversation with Gi-Hun where he's like, hey, I'll give you a chance. Go tonight and cut their throats. And like, then it'll be over or whatever. Like he'd be the winner. Like he could have just like murdered them in their sleep or whatever. But like, again, even though like Gi-Hun has already done bad things, he does not take the opportunity to do that. And as that's happening, the frontman is remembering, what do we find out? That he was in the games and that he did do it that night. He cut their throats so that he could win. So he's a former winner. And me and CM Cal had this conversation as we were getting ready for the episode, because also the old man on the boat. When they find his house, that guy that's like Gi-Hun, I think he's Gi-Hun's cousin. They find his house. They find his, yeah. I don't know if they say it, but I read it. I read that they're supposed to be cousins or whatever.
Wait, who's supposed to be cousin?
The guy that finds the stuff inside of the Fisher guy's house, the fisherman's house, the boat captain's house.
Yeah, the boat captain.
Let's call him the boat captain.
Yeah, the detective's friend. I like that guy. I really like that guy.
Yeah, he was cool. Yeah. So he goes to the boat captain's house when he's kind of discovering, what's going on. And he finds money. He finds and he finds a pink guard outfit, right? So he's like, hold on, this guy's in on it, right? But it made me think, I was like, well, if they gave him a job and he had all this money, maybe he was a prior winner too. So me and CM Cal were talking about it. And we were like, do you think that anytime you win the games, they know that it takes a certain type of person to win, right? Like, obviously you've probably heard people, they probably offer you a job, right? Like, hey, you want to work for the games? You want to be a pink guard? You want to be whatever? And maybe you work your way up, from being a circle to a triangle to a square to the games master to eventually maybe being like even the front man. Because the front man won. He won the games, and then he ended up, after time, I think, becoming the front man.
Did he ever say that the really old guy from season 1 was his father?
No, I don't think they ever said that. Did you read that?
You think so?
I don't know. I
had that in my head that he was, and like, I did think that he was for like the longest time, but then I was like, well, they never said that. I don't know why I'm thinking.
They never said that, but I don't know. That'd be interesting to find out. I mean, maybe that's another story to be, unfolded and find out. Rajesh Khanna is in the house. He's just kind of posting some letters here. We appreciate you, Rajesh, at least watching and joining the feed. But yeah, so basically what happens, guys, is, now Gi-Hun's got this task of protecting the baby. The old woman, before she kills herself, tells him, you got to take care of this baby. You got to like promise me that you will, whatever. So then Gi-Hun like kind of snaps out of his like rage and bitterness, and it's like, okay, I got to protect this baby now. It comes down to like him, 333, player 100, and they are doing the Squid Game up in the sky, and they're basically like trying to form a plan, like, okay, like, well, we just got to get rid of like one person until we advance next, and at the end we can get out and we can all split it. Now I knew player 100 was full of crap because he had the most debt, so he was trying to get the most money or whatever. So yeah, that bum who eventually gets killed by who? 333, right?
Yeah, good.
Which was good. Yeah, I was like, good riddance to him. You know what I mean? Like, he sucked. So, but then you have 333, who we know is the father of the baby, and you're kind of like, well, what's going to happen or whatever. It ends up coming down to him and Gi-Hun, right? Oh, and let's not forget about what we talked about CM Cal. But when we were seeing the baby being born and all that, we were kind of making jokes, right? Like, oh man, player 457, right? They're gonna make the baby in the games. Like that was a joke, but then they literally give the baby
the mother's
number 222. So they're like, oh, 222 is still in there. Oh, 222 doesn't get a vote because it's a baby. I'm like, they even
forfeited.
Yeah, even when they have their fancy dinner, remember they bring like the baby like a fancy bottle and all that.
So insane, man! That fancy bottle, man.
I was like, wow. I was like, a baby in the Squid Games is absolutely
CGI
bonkers. Yeah, as we call it, me and CM Cal call him CGI because he was a CGI baby. I was like, then they could have got like a rubber baby or something. They didn't even go that far. But,
looked like a rubber baby.
Yeah.
A baby full of like covered in baby.
Just like moving around all weird. But yeah, it comes down to Gi-Hun, the baby, and 333. They have this showdown on the final thing. I don't think Gi-Hun's necessarily trying to kill him, but he's making it seem like he's going to sacrifice the baby, right? And I'm like, I don't know if he was serious or not. What did you think? Did you think he was really going to kill his own baby?
Dude, he was going to say, yeah, I think he would have done it.
Because it was either him or the baby. Like he knew, like it has to come down to like one person off or whatever, So
yeah.
That was crazy. Gi-Hun ultimately, does the right thing. He protects the baby, and 333 dies. And then, like I think Gi-Hun has to make the choice what to do. And he asks to see the VIPs. He's like, show me yourselves to me, whatever. They're looking at him or whatever. And he tells them, like, we're not horses, you know what I mean? Like, we're not like these like creatures.
Don't
you can just don't bet on us. You can just like run us down like dogs, and we're humans or whatever. And I think they think he's gonna like maybe take more money, win back to back, you know what I mean? But no, he sacrifices himself and saves the baby, and the baby is the winner. Like, how crazy is that, right? It's like a freaking baby winner.
Now I gotta ask you something.
Okay.
If you had to make a game, if you were to make one of the games, how would you make it? Like,
oh man, that's crazy to think about. If I was gonna make a game, what would it be? Do you have one in mind that you think of that you would do? I don't know. It's hard for me to think of that because I would think of like something fun, but then I'm like, well, I don't know. I wouldn't want to see people dying playing my game. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Like Uno is fun. I like playing Uno just because people.
Well, don't like invent a game. Like if you were to add a game to the game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like maybe Uno. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of like reverse and like draw 4 and like you know what I mean.
Once you get to like 4, once you get like over 10 cards, you die.
Yeah. Oh man, can you imagine like seeing how we could talk about right the one where they're doing the honeycomb. Where you're doing like the remember when Gi-Hun has that nightmare and it's like all these like intricate drawings and he's like, oh man, like I can't do that. Like,
do you think you could survive getting Umbrella?
Man, I don't know. I would like to think that I could because I've seen the show, but without it, I don't know. But man, just when those people are right there and they're cookie cracks and the guy's just right there with the gun, like it's like, oh my gosh, it's so crazy. So I don't know. I don't know what would be maybe like a hard level of like an old Nintendo game I used to play, you know what I mean? So there used to be this level in the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, CM Cal. I'm sure you've seen videos of it, right? Where you've got to swim underwater. And there's like the whole top and bottom is like electrocuted and it's going like zzz, 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 and you've got to swim your turtle in between without touching the edges. And as you do, and you're disarming all these bombs. It's like any kid that played it is like, like it's so freaking intense. And there's levels of Mario Brothers too, where like the little like fire things are like twirling, and as Mario, you've got to like run through it, like jump, run, you can't make a mistake. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like so. These are games we play as a kid, probably why we got stressed now. It's older people in my age group, you know what I mean? But yeah, maybe something like that, just to see people's like their level of like, you know what I mean? So that'd be me. What about you? Do you have anything that maybe you thought of that you like? Is there a game you play in school now that maybe you think would be a decent game?
Like adding in school. No, we don't. Now we don't have time to play games. Like it's like in PE,
yeah,
it's like the only time we get to do like free stuff sometimes.
I get you. What about remember you told me that there was like a parachute game you guys would do?
Dude, that was awesome, but I was sick. I regret being sick because I wasn't even that sick. I couldn't.
I know. See, you never know what you're gonna miss at school. You gotta go to school every day. Yeah, so all good there. The baby wins, and so like probably you're wondering like, well, what happens next? The freaking baby won, right? So the front man comes, he takes the baby. Obviously, like they start to Guard 11 burns the island. She considers killing herself,
What?
but then she takes, yeah, remember she puts the gun under her chin.
No, she doesn't burn an island. She burns the record room.
In the record room, yeah, but I'm saying then she's gonna kill herself, but she's watching and she sees the baby wins and she sees that the frontman takes it. So the frontman also confronts his brother. His brother shows up. Does he kill the VIPs or do they get away? They just get away, right?
They don't get away. They just leave.
Yeah, they just leave. Yeah.
Tony Stark rich.
Yeah, exactly. Subticenti is in the house and he says, "Hi, what's up, Subticenti? We appreciate you being here. We're talking Squid Game season 3. Did you watch? Are you a fan of the show or the series? If you haven't seen it, we are doing spoilers. So, excuse me, we're right at the end of season 3, so we don't want to steal that from you. So you may want to click off if you haven't seen it and plan to see it. But if you don't mind, then that's what we're talking about. But yeah, the front man gets to confront his brother, the detective, again. He just kind of turns his back on him. He's not even scared. Like it's like he knows his brother won't kill him. And again, the front man takes the baby and you don't know what's going to happen, right? And again, this kind of gives Guard 11 hope too, so she, doesn't kill herself because she burns the record room.
Is it cool if I skip to like the very end of the episode?
Yeah, skip to the very end. Yeah.
So just a little bit. He gives Gi-Hun's daughter, Gi-Hun's uniform and the card.
Yeah.
I saw this meme video. Not that was a meme. But I saw this video that was like, she ran after the front man because she needed the pin to the card.
Yeah, I think I saw that too. Yeah, like, hey, how do I use this? You know what I mean? So yeah, no kidding, right? And then like she's in America, so it's like can she use that Korean card in the United States?
Oh,
like,
yeah, definitely, probably.
How does that work? You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I thought that was really cool that the front man honored that. He gave Gi-Hun's winnings to her, what was left. He went to the hotel and collected the money, right? Because remember, the money's missing when the detective goes there. And then someone said like it was like a part from earlier, but like you hear the guy talking and he's trying to find somebody like that part kind of threw me off. I got confused. I was like, what is that guy talking about? Whatever.
Do you think that the money in the big event was even real? Because in the first season we saw that Gi-Hun had the big stack of money, but then in this season it was like a card.
I don't know. Maybe they transferred it to that or something like that. But
well, Gi-Hun got the cash.
You got the cash, yeah. But I mean, how does that go? Well, it's like, we're just gonna like drop you off back at your house like these like big sacks of like cash. You know what I mean? Like that's also not safe, and you can't take it to a bank. Like in the United States, I'm like you can only put so much money in the bank before they question like, where's this money come from? What are you gonna be like? Oh, I was in the island Squid Game and they gave me all this cash. They're gonna be like, no, we're investigating you. So, you got to be very careful. That's why people that do crime, they like launder money. What they say, they launder money. They're trying to finding other ways to hide the money. You know what I mean? So. But yeah, Sienna Cal's right. I mean, that's kind of what happens at the end. Of course, also too, he leaves the front man leaves the baby with his brother, the detective, who like is kind of going to be left to raise it. And I kind of thought that he would link up with Guard 11 and they would like raise the baby together. Remember, we both kind of were like, oh, that would have been a good ending, right? But she goes off to go find her daughter, who she finds out is alive, who I guess she thought was dead. I was a little bit confused about that part of the story. Like I was like,
yeah, she was in China.
Yeah, I was like, what did I miss here with this conversation?
It was completely new, I think.
Okay, so I was a little bit lost on that.
Also, in the airport, remember she met up with whoever?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Somebody said that character's from earlier or whatever. Like maybe we need to rewatch. I don't remember either, but yeah, if somebody else does, by all means, tell us. But yeah, the most interesting thing I think that what everyone was kind of talking about was again the very end. The front man is leaving. He's in his vehicle. And he looks down an alleyway in Los Angeles. So he's in the United States now. And he sees a woman there and a man playing, Dakshi, right? They're throwing the card. So they're still playing the Korean game. But as the guy misses whatever, she's like leaning into him and slapping him. And it's this beautiful, attractive white woman with blonde hair. And she looks back at the car and she sees the front man. They kind of give each other like this like acknowledgement, right? See, did you agree? Like they kind of like nod. And of course, the actress playing that person is Cate Blanchett. So which just tells you, like,
you think they knew each other? Do you think that front man?
I don't know. I kind of felt like this is what I felt. The look he gave her was like, oh.
Well, okay. Well, no. Obviously, they knew each other. But do you think the front man is associated like? Into the U.S. games?
I don't think he is. I think he maybe only knew about the Korean version and thought maybe it.
I think he knew about. He probably knew about like all the versions.
You think so?
But he just like he does the Korean one.
Okay. I felt like he was kind of realizing like, oh, it's gotten over here, like it's made its way over here.
In like 10 years they did like a new show called like Squid Game in space.
Oh wow, Space Squid Game. I mean, like, yeah, that'd be pretty
Space
cool.
games.
Yeah, space games, fight on the moon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
On Mars, the Frontman like buys like a little island on Mars, like a little crater on Mars,
oh
and owns that
wow,
crater.
oh wow. I don't know. I mean, I can imagine what games would be like in zero gravity. You know what I mean? Like you're like just floating around.
No, I want to be zero gravity because once you enter the atmosphere, it's like a low gravity, and then space is zero gravity. But once you enter, like,
Yeah, but what if they have like a zero gravity environment for some zero gravity games?
I mean, that'd be like. What about Squid Game in a space pod in space?
I'll tell you, all of it would be really pretty crazy. Yeah, I think it'll be a while before we get there, though. But, yeah, but before we close out, Simcal, let me ask you, what would you like to see happen next with the Squid Game franchise? Would you like this to be it? Are you okay with it ending here forever? I mean, because to me, like I said, all things, they don't go away. I mean, like, you know.
So I would like the U.S. spinoff, but I would much rather have like a Frontman spinoff and
Okay.
seeing the old man participate from season 1. If he ever did, he probably did.
Oh, you want to see like kind of like a prequel?
Very like younger, because that guy was old.
Okay. I wouldn't mind seeing a prequel either, like what the older games were like. You know what I mean? So, okay, interesting. Okay, and then before I kind of wrap it up, what were your what rank the seasons for me? Like, what was your favorite? You know what I mean? Like, how would you rank them? Seasons 1, 2, and 3. From like maybe like your
probably 1, 2, 3.
In that order?
Yeah.
Seasons 1, 2, 3 in that order. Okay. All right. Favorite character? You have a favorite character?
Gi-Hun.
Gi-Hun, favorite character. Okay, cool.
Next to the Indian guy and next to the trans woman.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Player 120. Yeah, definitely. Okay, those are all good.
Like
all right.
grandma.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like you're a big Frontman fan.
Oh, Frontman, definitely. Frontman.
Yeah. Well, I really enjoyed watching it with you, CM Cal. Like that's like a cool show that we watched, just me and you together, and I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that you got into it. I watched season 1 originally the first time with your aunt, and me and her like loved it. And I thought she was going to be into like season 2 and 3, but she just kind of was like, you know. So it was great that I had you to watch it with, and we got to really enjoy it. And I hope to see the franchise continue to grow too, and more things.
You asked me. I'm gonna ask you. What do you want after?
Definitely, I'd like to see the American version. I'm wondering. I mean, like if Cate Blanchett is just like the recruiter. I mean, like what other actors could we get to see that would be doing like other parts?
KB says.
Best character was the baby, the youngest winner ever. Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. Maybe that's a good story, right? Like the of course, maybe the detective tries to.
How about a spinoff? Fast forward, the baby in the game is like age as Gi-Hun.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the detective is a good dad. He would never let anything happen to her to be in the games.
How come they destroyed the island like in the first place? Like, no one ever really did find. Oh, well, the detective did find it and made it.
Yeah, I also too don't think that it like destroying the island doesn't mean that the games are gonna stop it. They could have those games anywhere. They could have they could have the games in like Antarctica. You know what I mean? They just build a new facility. So, but I guess it was maybe like symbolic, like hey, like we're on to you. We know what you're doing, but or maybe the detective grows up educating her, or he's still a policeman. He could get killed in there. What if she ended up in an orphanage or something like that? You're right. She could end up in a situation where she does end up in the games as well. What about Gi-Hun's daughter? She could eventually say, hey, I want to find out what this uniform is. What happened to my dad? You know what I mean? Like, what about this? What if Gi-Hun's daughter ends up becoming like successful, investing all the money that she has and ends up being invited to like be a VIP?
Yeah.
Not getting involved and not knowing what it is. Like, because how do you first become a VIP, right? So how maybe people know you're into like sick stuff, and then someone shows you something, and then you're like, oh wow, there's like these whole games that go on. You know what I mean, like I want to get me a crystal mask of a cat or something like that. So
real quick, Kibby says real quick. Saw 28 years later, don't recommend. The other 20 times better than film.
Okay. No, hey, that's good to know, man. You wanted to start watching from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
How you were saying. I don't know. I haven't seen them in a long time, so I kind of gotta like make sure that they're okay for him. I don't remember there being anything like overtly like that he couldn't watch it or whatever. So he was like, there's some stuff I feel like I'm like, yeah, you're probably ready for that. So like horror stuff like to that effect, I feel like I'm like, yeah, I watched Nightmare on Elm Street when I was like probably 8 years old and probably shouldn't have watched that. So we're getting near the Halloween season. We're getting near spooky season. So you know, we may do that. I feel like zombies are like the safest of the stuff. He's seen all the screams, so I mean, you know, he's already there with that.
Also, Kibby says.
Oh, okay, good to know. All right, well then we may have to skip that one then. Yeah, for now, but yeah. Well, Sim Cow, it's been great in the conversation a lot. Oh yeah, the mail part. Okay. good. I definitely didn't remember that, and I think I've seen those all only once or whatever. But you know, I guess as long as it's not just like lingering on the screen or whatever, you know. So, but we'll figure it out if we're gonna do those next. So we're trying to work our way through the Alien series as well. We've just done Prometheus only, so we've got to get through Covenant and then the rest, and then we want to work in the new show as well, Alien Earth. Alien Earth. I'm hearing mixed things from people, whatever.
I said Prometheus kind of.
Oh, Prometheus.
It was boring.
Oh, well, you watched it a while back. I don't know. You know, you'll like Covenant better. I'll say that because I watched it and I was like, "Well, this really blew my mind." But it blew my mind because how it ties into.
Oh yeah, like you said, was there one main alien or was it multiple?
And that one, I think it's one. Yeah, maybe two. Maybe there's two. Whatever.
I always thought that there's like the movie Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
With the S, like multiple.
But in that one, there's multiples.
Yeah.
But yeah, if people are watching Alien Earth, if you guys are watching it, me and Double A are talking about covering it. We got to see. I haven't seen the newest episode yet. I did watch Peacemaker take off last night. Really enjoyed that. That looks like it's going to be a fun season. You know, people are talking about the things that happened even in the recap of that show. So if you know what I'm talking about, it's out there already. So that spoiler's been out there. People are getting it now. So if you're a Peacemaker fan, you want to continue the DCU after Superman this summer, Peacemaker will be where you pick up next. So that's what's going on there. Again, we will not be live on next Friday night. I don't know if another show will be live in our place, or I may run a pre-record if I get a chance to do a pre-record sometime. I just got to figure it out and have it ready. So anything else you want to say, CM Cal, before we get out of here?
No, nothing.
You want to send anyone to the social medias or no?
Yeah.
Go give CM Cal a follow at CM13 the _collector. That's on TikTok. On TikTok, yeah, right there. He does a lot of cool. What would you say? You describe it, CM Cal.
A lot of collecting, action figure posing.
Yeah. Again, if you guys are joining us from the Collecting Weekly side, I think you'll really enjoy it. He knows Zach, obviously the Oxfather. Zach's always given CM Cal credit on his taste in figures and his posing abilities and things of that sort. So if you like that kind of content, I think that you'll really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. I'm a little biased, but yeah. I'm biased because you're my nephew, so I'm definitely gonna like what you're doing. You know what I mean? But I do enjoy it. You are doing good stuff. What else? CM Cal, anything else?
Any comment?
Let's see. Are you saying 2025 Squid Game? Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Yes.
I think that we could see it. Ruse. What do you think?
I think he's saying, like, are we talking about the season that came out this year?
Oh yes, we are. Yes, we are. Ruse. We are talking about season 3 that just finished, or well, it's already been a couple months, right? That's what we did. I didn't put the spoiler banner because I figured, like, if you haven't seen it by now, you might not be watching it. But there's lots of spoilers. We're wrapping up the conversation now, so if you need to go back, by all means, please feel free to do so. Yeah, it's Ruse. Ruse. Am I saying that right? If I'm not saying it right, let me know. I'm sorry. But thank you for joining us anyway. But yeah, that's what we are talking about. We were talking about the Squid Game from this season that just finished earlier in the year. Anything else, CM?
No.
Yeah. All right. Just to let you guys know, if you don't know who we are Just Another Friday Night, San Antonio and South Texas premier pop culture podcast with P Breaks live on most Friday nights on Facebook and YouTube. You can find all of our links at our link tree, which is here at justanotherfridaynight.com. If you are not in our Facebook group, we invite you to come join us. We have a lot of fun conversations in there, post a lot of cool things, from music to movies to shows to funny memes. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like anything goes there. Again, we like to talk pop culture. Normally, it's me and Double A, Adamantium Adam here. Not here at his place, the Pod Lab, where we normally do the show from. But tonight, again, he couldn't be with us, so I've got my fill in here, CM Cal, with me tonight, and I'm hoping again to maybe get something else set up, at least a pre-record for next week, but it won't be live. If you haven't already, please check us out at JAFN Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Subscribe, like, follow, and share. And then, of course, like we said again, promoting CM Cal here and his TikTok. Go check it out. If you're joining us from the Collecting Weekly side, if you're not on their YouTube or Instagram, drop them a sub as well. They can always appreciate it. Those guys are doing the big numbers. What else? You can count anything else?
Nothing at all.
All right, guys. Well, we really appreciate you joining us tonight as we talked Squid Game. It was a lot of fun. I want to say what we always say at the end of every show, and that is to remind you guys that if there is something that you want to do, something that you want to accomplish, a hope, a dream, go out and do it. There's no time like the present, guys. Seize the day, carpe diem. That's what we like to say. And the other thing is we like to remind you of what the great Captain Steve Rogers said during Avengers Endgame when they go back on the time heist, when he reminds the Avengers that they must do whatever it takes, guys. So seize the day, do whatever it takes, guys. I'm CM Chuck.
And I am CM Cal.
And we are Just Another Friday Night, San Antonio's premier pop culture podcast with P Breaks, live on Fridays. You guys have a good night. Stay safe. Good night, KB. We appreciate you here. Ruse, you were right. Okay, there you go. Great. Can't go wrong with that. All right, you guys have a good one, and we'll catch you later.
Goodbye.